Okay, now we're getting into some more specialized tools. The first thing you're going to notice is you've seen these before if you've been in the RC world. If you haven't been, or even in the big boy world, these are camber gauges. This one is the most common one you'll see, the most popular one. This is an RPM. They've been around for eons. It is a monster-sized camber gauge. So, 15 bucks, I think. Gotta have one. Next on the list is, ooh, you've seen these also. This one is made by TNT. It's made for a TNT because it's got up to 1.5 inches up here. Most cars, you can use the smaller variety that has up to about 1 inch or so of steps. Like I said before, on the TNT and the LT3, and I believe the Sonic, I might be wrong on that Sonic, but they have what's considered a offset snout frame. So the front of the frame offsets by 1/2 inch from the rest of it. So when you're setting your ride heights, by the way, this is for the ride heights, it lets you check under the frame rail. So it goes from 3/8 on this one all the way up to 1 inch, and on this side it goes from 7/8 all the way to 1.5 inches. So this side I use for the rear frame rails, which are somewhere around 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16 in that range. And then the front would be around the same range plus that 1/2 inch offset. So if I was a 5/8, I'd need the 1.1 inches. If I was 9/16, I'd add 1/2 inch to that, which would put me at, oh God, 1 1/16. So gotta have these. Or, well, actually you don't, but it's really nifty to have one of those. What else? I've got this really nice little rule. It's a 6-inch rule, and to be honest with you, I use this. Don't have to have it, but I like it. It's in my box for a reason. Oh, specialized tools. Oh, here's a very, very, very important one here. You want to have this one. And this is a ink saw. This is a silver marker, permanent marker, ink saw by Milwaukee. I prefer these over the Sharpie brand ones. They seem to write on the tires a lot better, and that's what these are used for, so you can write on your tires. Which brings me to a tailor's tape. I don't know where mine's is at, actually. I must have left it at the track, so I got to get that replaced. But it's one of those things you have to have. You use it so you can measure your wheel diameter. Pardon me, the wheel circumference. You wrap it around the whole tire. It tells you your circumference. The average tires are between, say, 18.5 on the high range, down to about 16 3/4, I think, is the minimum for that left rear. I'd have to look at the rules. Either way, tailor's tape, get one. You need it. This little bad boy right here, these are your cheap infrared, not infrared, yeah, they're infrared laser pointer type of temp gun. A lot of guys use these for their tires. I actually don't. I use this primarily so I can check the surface temperature. So I use this for surface temperature. A lot of guys use it for their tires as well. I actually have a very specialized tire temperature gauge. For checking your tires, you're going to need a temperature gauge. You've already seen the little laser pointer one. I don't use that one. I like to use this Longacre Accutech. It's got a little probe on it, right? And this is very accurate. This is this is very accurate. This is actually what's used by the big boys, or some version of it. So I really do like this. Don't have to have it, but it's nice. More specialized tools. You're going to need some kind of layout wheels. These are custom. I made out of 1/4 inch aluminum. I actually made these so that they have the stagger that I like, so they're all a little different in size. However, there are a few manufacturers out there, quarter scale components, QSC. They have some acrylics that are really nice, and I believe they have some steel ones that are also really nice. Freddy's, if you can find some Freddy's, or pardon me, junior quarter scale. They also have some acrylics, and those are actually offset, so you can spin them and it changes the center heights. Those are really nice. All DT Sprints, Dytech. They have a lot of fancy little layout tools as well. Check them out. But you're going to need some kind of layout flat plate. So for checking your toe, for a few other measurements, you want to have a tape. I actually have a cheap little Harbor Freight tape. I work construction for a living, and I swear by the Stanley Fat Max. It's US made, and I love it. I carry it with me all day, every day, 5-6 days a week. However, for these little cars, this little cheap Harbor Freight dealio will do just as good. All right, now we're getting into the things that we rarely ever use, but when you need it and it's there, it's great, which is a little solder iron. It's no big deal. We're not doing electric RC, so we're not constantly using these to solder around motors and whatnot, but we do have the receiver packs, which most of us run the Dean's connectors, I want to say, and it's good to have these, so if you ever have to repair any of those receiver packs in a pinch. I keep a multimeter, definitely don't need one of these, but I'm an electrician by trade, and I've got a lot of these laying around the house, so one of them is in my toolbox. It lets me check for voltages on my battery packs if there's ever a question. Multimeter, don't need it, but I do have it. Okay. Other necessities, I don't know if they fall under tools or not, but you're going to need a gas can. I got a little 1 gallon. 1 gallon gas lasts you. We run 2-day race events out here at QSR West. So actually, usually it's 3 days. We got a Friday, usually start practicing, full day of racing Saturday and Sunday, and there's no way that I will go through a gallon of gas. Well, what do you do with the gallon of gas? Well, you use it to fill the fill bottle. The fill bottles here, they have a little spout, and that fits right into the hose, the Tygon fuel lines, and that's how we fill these cars. These are 1 liter. Yeah, 1 liter. I wish I could tell you what it was in quarts, but it might be a quart as well. Gosh, I don't remember. You gotta have one of these. You avoid using the standard ones we use for nitro. I don't believe those things were rated for gasoline. I might be wrong. These ones are rated for gasoline. That's what you want. I've got a little mixing cup here. It's a ratio right, and I use that. I got a ratio right for mixing my fuel. We use gasoline, 2-stroke, which in turn brings us to, oh, there we go, having some 2-stroke oil. This is AMSOIL Sabre. AMSOIL Sabre, what you want. And we use roughly a 73, I believe, to 1 ratio, which would make it, gosh, I can't remember, 1.5 ounces to a gallon, if I remember correctly, is the ratio we're shooting for. 73-1. I've got it marked on my little cup so I don't have to remember. I just pour it right into the little line, and then I swoosh in some gas, mix it in, mix it around, pour it back and forth. Ooh, get it all mixed up. Good to go. What am I forgetting when it comes to tools? Wow. I really do want to say that covers it. All right, I think I covered all the tools that are in my toolbox. Oh, you know what? No, there's a few other things you want to have in that toolbox. You're going to want there's a few other things you're going to want in that toolbox as well. I got some consumables. You're going to want something to use for cleaning in general. I like this mass airflow MAF cleaner. It's like $5 a can, and it doesn't leave any residue, so I really do like this. It's not too harsh. It's actually safe for plastics. I like this. You're going to want Loctite, blue Loctite. Blue Loctite is your friend. Yeah. Matter of fact, I got a big bottle. I think that's a blue Loctite. I got a blue and a red. I don't really use a red. Blue Loctite. That's your friend. You're going to want to put it on everything. The only thing I don't put blue Loctite on is the wheel nuts. They come off and on real often, and I don't want it on that. Everything else, I put a little dab of blue Loctite. Whether it's got a nylock or not, whether it's got a, and these are called high collar. The little lock washers we use, the little black ones, they're square edged. They're called high collar lock washers. And even if you got those on there and nylocks, you put this more on your screws. It's going to save you some headache. Oh. What else? Things I don't have in front of me now is shoe glue. Get yourself a little shoe glue or the equivalent of shoe glue, which is like E6000. I don't remember what it's called, but some of that shoe glue-esque adhesive. You want some of that. Double-sided sticky tape. I've got the 1-inch stuff. It comes in handy. Primarily the 1-inch sticky back, double-sided sticky back. You never know when you're going to need it, so I carry a roll in my toolbox. We talked about shoe glue. You want some shoe glue in there, and yeah, I think that covers it. I think if you have those few tools, you should be covered for the most part. I'd say 95%, 98% of the time you'll be covered. All right.